versus Wukong isn't close, bro. Y'all already know who I gave it to, man. In my community tab thing, y'all already know who I gave it to. But it said name someone is on my community tab. I think it said what, name someone who beat Wukong, something like that. Of course, I put GODGOTHAM. That's the whole purpose of his character, bro. Like, that's the whole purpose, bro. Yeah, man. Some people just refuse to like just believe that. I don't know why it's so hard for people to believe that, but you know, it is what it is. Like I said, everyone's entitled to your interpretation. But bro, you think Wukong beat GODGOTHAM, then you completely missed the whole joke. Let's get it, bro. Let's check his. Wow.
The Great Monkey King versus the strongest hero.
Big Dad, yo.
Wukong and Saitama are two characters that are similar in so many ways, clearly depicted as beings that cannot be defeated, and both turn their fist against gods in their respective verse. But what happens if...
But the way, once since they created him and designed him and written him, yeah, I don't think Son Wukong matched that, bro.
These two anomaly crossed paths and decided to fight, with Saitama thinking that Wukong is a monster and Wukong thinking that Saitama is a strong spirit that must be attained. In this video, we'll try to analyze both of these characters' abilities, physical stats and hacks to find out who would eventually come up on top.
Y'all already know who I'm giving it to. Big Dad, go. They told me to kick him out in space. GG's.
Saitama is literally the strongest character in One Punch Man, someone who is not meant to lose by any means. He became so strong that a being like Cosmic Fear Garou stood no chance against by the end of their fight, certainly portrayed as an endgame character.
And it's crazy that he was fighting. Okay, let me show you.
Who was placed right at the beginning of the series. But in order to understand how strong he is, it's important to note that especially now, different people in the community has picked up multiple controversial metas in order to correctly assess where he scales at. Strictly,
people trying to scale Saitama based on his feet, and then they want to say current, bro. And yet they still ignore all the other factual information. Like, make it make sense, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Speaking, I personally prefer a much conservative approach, one that for the time being doesn't rely on unclear data and possibilities. But for the sake of this matchup, even though I don't necessarily agree with certain metas, I'll still be including them in this video. The most agreed meta, in my opinion, is one that indicates that Saitama isn't infinitely strong, but more so possesses infinite potential. This whole
No, Saitama have infinite strength, bro.
Idea comes from the Cosmic Fear Garou and Saitama's.
And see, this the thing. Imagine Son Wukong make more clones of Saitama. You seen what happened when he would what you call it when Cosmic Garou was copying his whole stack. Saitama just up. Saitama has no limit, bro. He's just gonna one punch all them clones. So I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Fight, specifically in chapter 168, where it states that both Garou and more importantly Saitama are still growing. Yes, by the end of the day,
people look at that chart and bro, they put everything into their interpretation, bro.
Fiction can be very confusing, but it's not far-fetched to see a character grow beyond infinity. But the multiple sources people go by to prove this has gaps and holes and are very questionable.
Bro, the red is out, literally passing the infinite, bro. Symbol, bro. Infinite strength. The red is out of passing it, bro. I'm like, what else is there, bro? I don't know why people be finding this so hard.
Which puts pre-Jupiter Saitama at multi-solar system to multi-galaxy levels in terms of strength based on the series punch squared and massively faster than light in speed. Second meta suggests that Saitama is a 4D being and possibly even more. This comes from him grabbing and throwing the hyperspace portal that shocked even Garou himself, made people conclude that Saitama is already universal. But regardless, the problems that came with this are numerous. 1. People say that this can be either a name fallacy or a mistranslation that should have said subspace instead of hyperspace. After all, they eventually changed it in the English official release. However, Blast himself and Empty Void both confirmed they can create and teleport via hyperspace.
bro. When we get empty goat, bro. Yo, bro. Hey, yo, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. But hey, yo, I'm so hyped for Neo, bro. Y'all just what, bro? Y'all. Some people really ready to see empty goat, but bro, I'm here for the Neo's hero arc, bro. That's what I'm for.
Space portals, which means
that story is so good, bro. Let me shut up.
It's literally a portal that leads to another dimension.
In base, bro. In base. Crazy. And I can't wait. I hope he do something with these swords.
Or another plane of existence. 2. It could be that Blast only used a subspace portal that Garu eventually copied, which
and I want to see what Blast can do, bro. Cause I'm pretty sure we know the Blast was holding back fighting against Cosmic Garble.
Explains why the gate was being overloaded by a multi-solar attack and Garu needing a line of sight in order to teleport, meaning Saitama only grabbed the subspace portal.
Toon Force right there for you. That's Toon Force right there. That's that way. That when Toon Force kick in.
Which is still an
either Toon Force or gag.
Overpowered feat. But regardless of these controversial arguments that people tend to bring, we'd still be including this meta in this video. Now the next crazy highballed meta comes from recent statements and feats
I just told y'all, let me start yapping, but I told y'all remember when I said empty void can absorb?
Revolving around Empty Void, in which he has shown the ability to act and operate outside of universal causality, folding entire dimensions like bubble, possibly affecting infinite independent universes in spacetime. This had led many people to believe that Empty Void is by the very least low multiversal, which I myself still refuse to jump the wagon on this one, not that I don't believe it can happen, but because—
oh, trust me, it's happening, bro. It's happening. But people just don't want to accept that. They don't even want to accept the scans. Bro, they'll do everything they can in that interpretation to make it fit their narrative. They're like, bro, there's no point. Ain't even no point in trying to like have a conversation with those type. Let it be.
This, for me, requires more evidence to support, but since Saitama is the undisputed strongest character in the verse, possibly only second to God, he should upscale to this feat, putting him at the multiversal tier. Now jumping to the last meta that people always likes to bring up, which is that Saitama can never be defeated, since this is clearly the premise of the show, and the authors would never ever make Saitama lose, you see?
Yeah, I mean, the author literally said, one sentence literally said, all I have to do is have Saitama come up. Punch the problem away. Yeah. All I had to do is have Saitama push the problem away. Punch the problem away. I said push the problems away. I think, it did what it did, bro.
Logically speaking, there are actual evidence in the manga implying that this is not the case. Best example is Saitama stating that Garu is someone he can unleash his full power against. Sure, the Cape's Baldy was always holding back, he didn't want to kill him for Tario and was clearly using just one hand, but Garu—
yeah, like, that's all he was doing is always holding back. Always holding back. Saitama can let loose. That's what they say, he can let loose. But he always know how to hold back. Dude don't even have a limit, bro.
was still someone that Saitama couldn't blitz or one-shot, a character shown in the graph to reach comparable strength to that of Saitama himself, meaning a character such as God would have defeated Saitama before he started evolving against Garu, since God is implied to being much stronger than literally everyone else. Now, it's very important to note that I'm only using these metas to provide all possibilities regarding this matchup, not because I agree with them as I stated before, as if you are familiar with my channel, I make sure to put all the cards in the table with logical explanations to let you pick which one you would choose to believe. And with all of this being said, can Saitama defeat—
See, the thing is, I don't scale Saitama. I don't scale Saitama by his feats though. That sign literally showing you infinite, but people want to put it to a limitation and stuff. I'm like, but bro, I'm like, yo, create your happiness. That's all I can tell them. Just create your happiness.
The Monkey King.
こんなに手応えのありそうな怪人は久しぶりだ。地底人。
It's very fascinating to know that Dragon Ball Z, the godfather of all shonen and fighting anime, is literally inspired from the old Chinese novel The Journey of the West. You can even arguably say that Sun Wukong is the true reason why we have so many concepts in our modern battle anime and manga. But apparently, before the Black Myth
Gotta put respect on it.
Wukong game dropped, people never cared or knew how strong this character really is. I mean, even if you played the game, you wouldn't really grasp how
Bro couldn't even be. Oh, bro put. Oh, cause this another one. See, he put this one in. He sealed them up. See, it just.
much Wukong can do, since first, you're not really playing as the true Wukong.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, cause that
And
the first one.
second, the story and the game ends when you eventually reach his supreme level. That's why it's necessary.
See, bro already
The story
bleeding.
and the game ends when you eventually reach his supreme
This one is bleeding.
level.
Bleeding. Come on, you really think Wukong, whatever Wukong this one is, he couldn't even stand a chance. Bro already bleeding.
That's why it's necessary to get back to the old novel to properly gauge how strong he is. You see, Wukong has been through 4 stages of power. The story in its first chapter starts with Wukong already equaling the gods of heaven, which in their fights they disturbed and impacted both the realm of form and the realm of desire. Some of these gods literally forms constellations, which is a group of visible stars. This puts Wukong at the multi-solar system to possibly galaxy levels in terms of strength. However, Wukong after this battle gets sealed by a Buddha, resulting in losing a considerable portion of his strength when he was eventually reincarnated. Dropped significantly in power, but still fought monsters and spirits like the red-scaled giant python that uptured the 4 great continents, making him in this stage by the very least multi-continental. However, from this point on, Wukong started to climb the ladder once again to eventually obtain levels way further than just equaling the gods of heaven, kinda like the Destined One in the Black Myth game. First things first, it's very important to talk about the Buddha's interpretation and scaling in this cosmos, since Wukong, especially later on, heavily upscales to these entities. For once, it's been said that Wukong has jumped from the edge of heaven and didn't even leave Tathagata's hand. Reasons this is very essential is because the cosmos of the Journey of the West contains several universe-sized realms that each contains stars and planets. These realms are the Earth, Hell, Heaven, and the Pure Spirit. Completely functions differently in an unconventional spacetime, demonstrated by their entirely different flows of time, since it has been stated that one day in heaven equals a whole year in the living world. Meaning, without any shadow of a doubt, the Buddhas in Journey of the West novel are indeed universal. However, that's just the tip of the ice, since it has been hinted multiple times in the journey that potentially an infinite amount of worlds can exist in just one single universe. This is supported by statements such as Buddha's whole realm is in a grain of sand and the mustard seed holds a mountain range of the Buddha's cosmos, which clearly suggests that the smallest things can hold the largest or the greatest. This certainly implies that confirmed realms such as the heaven and earth that potentially have their own spacetime contains more worlds to an either multiverse or multiverse plus extent. But bear with me for a second, because things can get very complicated. This whole concept is obviously a clear paradox that doesn't make sense. How can one universe hold multiple universes? However, the novel actually extends the application of this contradiction by intentionally including multiple statements that would make it even more stupidly absurd. You see, remember when we said that the Buddha's realm exists within a one tiny grain of sand? Now imagine there are multiple other Buddhas in multiple other realms implied to be infinite in size that exist in multiple other grains of sands that could also be an infinite amount of. This would lead us to conclude that each of the Journey of the West worlds infinitely stacks dimensionalities, putting it at least at the low complex multiverse level. All of this is worth noting since Wukong himself scales to this or much higher due to eventually attaining Buddhism. This by default makes him upscales to the likes of the transcendent monks who operates outside of causality and the bodhisattva who can draw boundless power, with finally entering the states of the Dharmakaya, which is a form that literally encompasses everything, putting him him at the high complex multiverse level. Now strictly speaking, the Dharmakaya form or state literally makes him not only omnipresent but also omniscient, meaning he certainly has knowledge on everything in every category. Truly one of the strongest characters in fiction. Now, Wukong obviously has a lot of skills and abilities, and mentioning them all would literally take us forever, but the most notable one in my opinion is having the ability to create a whole army of himself by transforming his body hair into clones, each seemingly capable of doing exactly the same things he can do, which is literally the definition of overpowered. But with all of this being said, does Wukong have what it takes to take down the strongest hero?
Yes.
Now to get straight to the chase, Saitama in his highest state is only winning against two versions of the Monkey King, but ultimately loses to end of the series Wukong. You see, beginning of the novel Sun Wukong, the one who equals the gods of heaven, pretty much has the same scaling as Saitama himself, as both should be on the multi-solar to galaxy level in terms of strength. However, Saitama would still have an edge due to his unlimited growth rates that would allow him to surpass the Great Sage in no time. He would also be able to easily defeat him again after he was resurrected on Earth, as the Great Sage himself was struggling against a multi-continental being. However,
overall, Saitama just one punch him, bro. Like that's I don't know, bro. I be telling people, bro. Saitama win overall, but I don't know. People just want to give the Wukong for some reason.
things would drastically
Like they missed the whole purpose of Saitama. But you know, like I said, rate your happiness, bro.
take a big turn, as Sun Wukong attains strength that ridiculously puts him on a level much higher, operating at multiversal plus to high complex multiverse level without the mention of the Dharmakaya state. This level of strength is even beyond the highballed meta in One Punch Man, and to make matters even worse, Wukong can create clones that seemingly are capable of doing exactly the same things he can do. Unfortunately, anything that Saitama does, Wukong just does it better, operating outside of causality, transcending.
I don't know about that right now. Nah, hey, the creator always gonna make it more funny. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Wukong gonna do all these clones, but you know, overall, whatever Saitama do is always gonna be funny and always gonna have a little gag into it. So I'm just saying.
Dimensionality described to have boundless or infinite power.
Look at that, bro. Saitama just easy that one shot the clones. That's the whole point. And if they don't get it, then it's pointless.
Are all things said to being below attaining Buddhism, not to mention the Dharmakaya state that allows him to be everywhere, as it does not go or return, move or change. And this still isn't accounting for Wukong's crazy
I still be confused, like, which one? Are we doing the game one or like the other one? It's crazy.
acts such as ignoring durability, having 7 immortalities, and maybe shrinks himself and becomes as strong as One Punch Man's strongest mosquito. Potentially,
That goddamn mosquito.
the god of the One Punch Man series can be argued to scale on this level or maybe much higher.
I believe God is gonna be scaled somewhere like up there, like possibly like up there to like what it name? Dark Strike. I mean, or Wukong, man, because old buddy, he got like another of him like outside in another. It's complicated, bro. Like, bro, it's just complicated, bro. Like, this could be like God, like, well, God's other. I can't put it all in word, man, but bro, we gotta let one cook with God, bro. Cause I got a feeling, bro, they do have him.
But at the end of the day, these are only assumptions and predictions, and things on this level are still remain to be seen. Although I can imagine that possibility happening in the future with Saitama eventually upscaling to God's feats. However,
I mean, yeah. I think he already surpassed God.
for now, the Monkey King should have the upper hand on basically every and most of the fighting categories. Now, being a
Like the feats.
One Punch Man fan,
The feats.
That led me to become a One Punch Man content creator. I admittedly favor and like Saitama more than 99% of the characters in fiction. I'd like to believe that Saitama would eventually reach these high levels of power and go even beyond with
I mean, he already is. It's just, you know, people just keep putting him, trying to like downplay him and put all the interpretations and stuff. So I was like, bro, it is what it is.
concrete evidence that aren't as shaky as they are now. But for the time being, as I said, we just can't give him the W against a character of this magnitude. And with that being said, make sure to join the Accord and please take good care.
I gave him the W, the big W. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Big cat goat, man. You already know. Once again, one tap that guy. I told y'all. Don't believe me? Go to your AI and other things. But you already know. Link up in the description on all that good stuff, man. I'm out.